Childhood was completely British and American.
So my signature tune is pretty much
Robbers, they rob, they no see you, brother.
And like you said, I'm robbers, rob, they no see you. They don't see me, my brother. It happened to me.
Many months and many years don't come and go.
Baba God, we say thank you.
the music is the way that the whole world can connect.
Sometimes music goes with comedy. I love music.
Let the love for music keep burning in you.
Music and art, a must watch.
Was there any time Nigeria was not Nigeria?
At that time, by the 1950s, principles mattered. But today, it is not principle, opportunism.
I was part of the first set of Nigerian cadets that started the Nigerian Navy.
You cannot say you love God if you don't love your country.
Which one did I prefer at that time? And I said, the one that called me evil genius. You are evil, you are a genius.
Once you've laid the right foundation at primary school, the sky is the limit.
I don't say you should knock off where you come from, because that's really what helps to mold you into what you are.
When I became president, it was estimated that 60% of our people
in spite of their political differences, they had a respect for one another. Wallo, Zik, Sardauna, Prime Minister Abubakar Tafawa.
Revered orator and elder statesman, Dammasanin Kanu, Dr. Yusuf Maitama Sule, goes home as tributes continue to pour in for the great nationalist.
And I'm pleased to say that in the 2016 budget, we released an unprecedented 1.2 trillion for capital projects.
Nigeria optimistic of quick transition from recession to global economic power. The 29th African Union Summit ends in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, with unanimous choice of President Muhammadu Buhari to drive the theme for the next summit. Senator Muhammad Ali Ndume gets relief as Federal High Court in Abuja throws out charges of terrorism. Hello, good evening, and welcome to NTA Network News. I am Muhammad Kudu Abubakar in Abuja. And in our Lagos studio is Jennifer Igwe.
Good evening and a warm welcome to the news.
And in Jos is Caleb Gochin.
Good evening, Mohammed. Welcome to the news.
The remains of Dammasanin Kanu Alhaji Yusuf Maitama Sule have been laid to rest at Wali Maigeza Cemetery in Kano City. This was after funeral prayers led by Chief Imam of Kano, Professor Emeritus Sani Zaharuddin. Lydia Bassi, who monitored the burial, reports that multitude of Nigerians were at the palace of the Emir of Kano to pay their last respects. The Dammasanin Kano's remains arrived the country via Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport at about 2 this afternoon and was transported to Kano, his home state. Dignitaries in attendance include Senate President Bukola Saraki, Emir of Kano Muhammadu Sanusi II, many state governors, members of the national and state assemblies, and other notable Nigerians. Alhaji Maitama Sule died at the Cairo Hospital in Egypt at the age of 88. He was there for a medical treatment. A diplomat, politician, and an orator of repute, The Damasan in Kano, whom many describe as a repository of history, will be remembered for his nationalistic views at all times. The former permanent representative at the United Nations, Maitama Sule, is no more, but his legacies, especially as an apostle of Nigeria's founding fathers' vision of a united, indivisible and progressive country, lives on. He was a crusader of politics without bitterness.
In spite of their political differences, they had a respect for one another. Wallo, Zik, Sardauna, Prime Minister Abubakar Tafawa, they all respected one another. I'll tell you one interesting thing. During one of the constitution conferences, one morning, Chief Awolowo greeted Sardauna and he refused to answer. He used to call him Prince. He said, "Prince, what is the matter?" The Sardauna told him, "Look, you man, so and so, I don't want to mention name. He saw me on 2 occasions and refused to greet me." Awolowo did not say a word. He went and got that man and held him by the arm and dragged him to Sardauna and said, "Kneel down and greet him. If next time you see Sardauna and you don't greet him, I will dismiss you from my party." When I was a minister and Chief Awolowo was leader of the opposition, during the sitting of the House, every morning I would cross the carpet, go and kneel down to greet Awolowo. Prime Minister observed this and one day called me to his office. Say, "I have observed that there is a kind of alliance between you and Chief Awolowo." He said, "Sir, you have told us to respect elders. And that is why I'm respecting him in spite of our political differences." He said, "God bless you. Keep it up." There was a time when a leader in the parliamentary party, NCNC parliamentary party, fell out with Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe. He was dropped. He was dismissed from the party. The Prime Minister created a special office in his office and got him employed. He did not want such a high-placed person to be redundant, to be jobless. Meanwhile, he was playing for time, trying to reconcile him and the leader of his party, Dr. Azikiwe, until finally he did. They were reconciled. He was brought back to the party. He did not belong to the NCNC, but he felt that was how it should be done. Those were the days. Those were the days.
Indeed, those were the days. Late Damasan in Kano, Alhaji Yusuf Maitama Sule, may his soul rest in perfect peace. In the meantime, wife of the president, Mrs. Aisha Buhari, has condoled with the government, people, and family of late Yusuf Maitama Sule. Mrs. Buhari, who described the demise of the elder statesman as a shock, said he was an epitome of humility, moderation, tolerance, and patriotism, explaining that he passed on at a time the country needed his counsel most. Aisha Buhari said late Maitama Sule will be remembered for his stabilizing role as an elder statesman and a national figure whose life is worthy of emulation. She prayed Allah to grant the deceased eternal rest. Meanwhile, the All Progressives Congress, APC, has described the late elder statesman Yusuf Maitama Sule as a progressive voice who made the country proud in all assignments he undertook. In a statement by the party's National Publicity Secretary, Bolaji Abdullahi, the APC also described the late Damasan in Kano as a distinguished public servant and patriot. Similarly, Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, says the death of the foremost elder statesman, Maitama Sule, is a great loss to Nigeria. Dr. Ngige noted that the late elder statesman was an exceptional character whose lifetime is a book and a must-read to all Nigerians. And the former Senate President, David Mark, in a statement expressed sadness over the death of Maitama Sule, whom he described as Nigeria's leading light. In its condolence message, the National Orientation Agency, NOA, says the nation has lost a courageous voice against national disunity and failing national values. Another condolence came from the leadership of the United Progressive Party, UPP. The national chairman of the UPP, Dr. Chekwas Okorie, said the party is consoled that the late Namasanin Kanu lived a fulfilled life as a devout Muslim, diplomat, administrator, and an orator. In other news, Minister of Finance Kemi Adeosun says the capital market remains a veritable tool in sustaining infrastructural spending in the country. The minister stated these at a national workshop to discuss transiting from recession to global economic power held in Abuja. Musa Abubakar now reports.
With about 300 billion naira infrastructural deficit and a decline in oil prices, an alternative source of finance becomes imperative for government to deliver on socio-economic goods in Nigeria. Economic and financial experts have therefore continued to explore ways of addressing the situation. This national workshop is one of such efforts. Participants are of the belief that key to transiting out of recession and diversifying the economy lie in bridging infrastructural gap with emphasis on capital market as a tool for long-term investment.
In the 2016 budget, we released an unprecedented 1.2 trillion for capital projects, and that was because we saw infrastructure, particularly transport and power, as the major brakes on growth.
For participants, the initiative will inspire efforts from both public and private sector towards putting the country at par with developed partners.
The capital market has been the engine room for development, and that is why all hands is on deck.
We are about coming out of recession now. I think it's very relevant, very germane for the economy.
Capital market master plan and creating an enabling environment for public listing of the economy's commanding heights are areas experts identify to need urgent attention.
The workshop seeks to deepen the relationship between the public and private sector through exploring material and human resources needed to put the country on the path of economic growth and development. In Abuja, I am Musa Abubakar, NTA News.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has secured $2 billion discounts from renegotiated upstream contracts being executed by its service providers. This was made known by the Group Managing Director, Maitama, who took over the mantle of leadership from the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Ibe Kachiku, last year.
We've hit about 130,000 barrels per day, been as a result of your collective efforts in seeing that we bring back NPDC back on stream, and to make sure the intended target that by 2019 it should go up to 250,000 barrels per day, and by 2020 we should hit close to 500,000 barrels per day.
Highlighting the achievements of the NNPC, Maitama noted that there is a significant increase in crude oil reserves and production, stressing that the daily national average production was 1.83 million barrels of oil and condensate, which hovers around 1.88 million barrels in the last 1 year. He declared that efforts are underway to secure third-party financing to revamp the refineries to their optimal operational capacities. The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations is assisting Nigeria and other West African countries to develop a strategy towards boosting food security, fishing, and aquaculture. The strategy, which includes the development of a fishery policy, is expected to address issues relating to piracy and illegal fishing in the sub-region. Musa Baba Aliu reports.
Fisheries and aquaculture have continued to play a significant role in the socio-economic well-being of millions of people across the West African sub-region. This is apart from the millions of dollars revenue being generated through local and international trade and licenses. In spite of this, however, piracy and illegal fishing have continued to pose threats to the sector. It is in the light of this that the Food and Agriculture Organization stressed the need for West African countries to develop a policy that will strengthen food security.
We are in the process of putting a global strategy for the region in all the dimensions of the problem of tackling the problem of the fisheries development.
The European Union has pledged to support the initiative with 15 million euros to improve the socio-economic well-being of over 6 million people and communities engaged in fishing activities in the sub-region.
The overall objective of this program is to enhance the contribution of fisheries resources to sustainable development, food security, and poverty alleviation in West Africa.
A policy dialogue for the development of fisheries is currently taking place in Abuja. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
The 29th Summit of the African Union has ended in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, with African leaders resolving to promote greater involvement of youths in the development of the continent, expediting action on reform of the Union and enhancing peace and security. Nigeria's Foreign Affairs Minister Geoffrey Onyema told correspondent Makut Simon Macham that the unanimous choice of President Muhammadu Buhari to champion the theme for the next summit is an eloquent testimony of Nigeria's progress in the fight against corruption.
When African leaders meet in 2018, their focus will be on winning the fight against corruption, a sustainable path to Africa's transformation. In recognition of the efforts by the Buhari administration to fight corruption in Nigeria and promote development, the AU has given Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari the mandate to champion the theme for the next summit. Foreign Affairs Minister Geoffrey Onyema says the recognition by the AU is a clear indication that corruption is a great impediment to development. African Union Chairman President Alpha Condé of Guinea at the closing of the summit said the continent will achieve greater progress with involvement of youth in governance and other sectors, just as Liberian President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, who is attending the summit for the last time, expressed hope that more women will be empowered in Africa, with some replacing her in the Council of Heads of State as soon as possible.
Long live African Union, long live Africa. Thank you for your...
As the 29th Summit of the African Union ends here in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, delegates, heads of state, and other contingents will be going back to their countries with feedback of decisions reached here. From Addis Ababa in Ethiopia, I am Makut Simon Macham, NTA News.
And in Addis, we have Nigeria's Foreign Affairs Minister, Geoffrey Onyema, who is joining us live from Addis. Honorable Minister, welcome to our studio. The 29th African Union Summit has ended. Apart from the unanimous choice of President Muhammadu Buhari to champion the theme for the next summit, what are the other major takeaways for Nigeria, Honorable Minister?
Well, as you know, the priority areas of Mr. President, security, good governance, and the economy, I would say that the other takeaway, main takeaway for Nigeria, is the establishment at the end of this year of a continental free trade area for Africa. And this really should be a game changer for the economy of Nigeria. As you know, there's only about 10% of trade amongst African countries. And with a free trade area across the continent, it'll be an enormous opportunity for Nigeria, and will play into Mr. President's third priority of the economy and job creation.
The summit also discussed elaborately about peace and security and the fight against terrorism. What impact will this have on the fight against terror, particularly the Boko Haram challenge in Nigeria?
Yes, of course. You know, well, first of all, Nigeria is going to chair the Peace and Security Council of the African Union for this month. So we're obviously going to use that opportunity to mobilize, the African Union to, address the security challenges that we face, including Boko Haram. But in addition to that, we spoke very strongly in favor of the immediate establishment of the African security architecture, a standby force, an African standby force. And these will really be mechanisms for assisting us and other African countries in addressing security challenges, including, of course, terrorism.
Before the standby force comes into fruition or is established. Honorable Minister, is there any assistance Nigeria will be getting from the African Union in its fight against terrorism?
Yes, the African Union is now establishing a peace fund, a peace and security fund, and the idea is that the member states will pay a certain amount into that fund in addition to their contribution towards the African Union. So having this fund will help Africa, in fact, become independent of partners, because hitherto we've depended on foreign partners or non-African partners to fund our security engagements on the continent. So that fund will also make it possible to assist Nigeria, to meet, well, not just Nigeria, but other African countries to meet their security challenges.
Honourable Minister, Nigeria's Honourable Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Geoffrey Onyema, thank you so much for joining us from Addis.
Fine, thank you very much.
Back home, you can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. Up ahead on the news, court clears Senator Muhammad Ali Ndume of alleged terrorism charges. Don't go away.
Some reunions are worth waiting for. Reconnect your old SIM and we'll give you 6,000 Naira airtime. Also enjoy 8 times bonus on every e-top-up recharge.
The largest data network, Glow Unlimited.
Mun samu zaman lafiya a cikin wannan gari na Maiduguri, sai dai mu ce mun gode wa Allah.
Every night now we are staying here, we are doing our business normal as before now. Peace has come to Maiduguri now.
What a time to be alive. Just some years ago, many of the businesses and industries that are worth billions today did not even exist. Now, you could be in a village, somewhere that almost nobody has heard of, and become the next big thing worldwide. All you need is an idea, patience, persistence, and good internet access. So go on, get the other 3, because we've got you covered on internet access with super fast data plans, no matter who you are or where you are. Maybe you're the one the world is waiting for to take us to our next level of success. There's only one way to find out, and we have full confidence that you will find the way. Why are we so sure? Let's just say that we have blind faith in your future.
The organizing committee welcomes you to the official presentation of the book, Nigeria, The Restructuring Controversy by Sir Dr. Mike Mbama Okiro, NPM, CFR, MNI, IGP retired, under the chairmanship of General Abdusalami Abubakar, GCFR, former head of state, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Special guest of honor, His Excellency Professor Yemi Osinbajo, SAN, GCON, Acting President, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Book forward by General Yakubu Gowon, GCFR, former head of state, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Book reviewer, Mr. Sam Omate, Chairman, Editorial Board, The Nation Newspaper, Lagos. Book presenters, Prince Engineer Arthur Eze, Alhaji Rabiu. Date, Thursday, July 6, 2017. Time, 10 a.m. prompt. Venue, International Conference Center, Abuja. Ikechukwu Ani, Chairman, Organizing Committee, Announcer.
The Future Assured project of the wife of the president, Aisha Muhammad Buhari, is carrying out free medical screening and distribution of food items at various IDP camps while ensuring the economic empowerment of women through training and skill acquisition. In recognition of her efforts, wives of governors have lent their voices and support.
In Kogi State, we feel the impact of Future Assured, especially in women and children.
The Future Assured program of Mrs. Aisha Muhammad Buhari, the wife of the president, has been very assuring and still reassuring in Sokoto State. It has impacted positively in the areas of humanity, especially women and children.
Supports the Future Assured initiative. Email programs@futureassured.org.ng. Future Assured, promoting and protecting the lives of Nigerian women and children.
Do you know that the Nigerian police now operates in the best international practices of policing? Do you know that the Nigerian police has been restructured to be more accountable and responsive to all your security challenges? Now, what the police demand from you is your trust, your collaborative efforts by providing necessary information about criminals and their activities in your neighborhood. Be vigilant. To achieve our creed as we promise, we shall police the country based on international core values of policing with integrity. We shall ensure that rule of law prevails in our actions and activities. We shall respect diversity, display courage, show compassion, and demonstrate professionalism. We shall operate within the principle of democratic policing. We shall shun corruption, and we shall make Nigeria safer and secured under the leadership of IGP Ibrahim Otum Idris.
Let the wind of change blowing across the country chase away crime for the benefit of our society. Yes, the Nigerian police says this change must come with peace and tranquility.
This message was brought to you by the Public Relations Department of the Nigerian Police Force.
This is NTA Network News. The Federal High Court in Abuja has discharged Senator Muhammad Ali Ndume from the 4-count charge bordering on terrorism brought against him by the federal government in 2011. Senator Ndume, who is representing Borno South Senatorial District, was set free by Justice Gabriel Kolawole on grounds that no prima facie case was established against him. Ali Tukur has the report.
Delivering the ruling in a no-case submission filed by Senator Ali Ndume, Justice Gabriel Kolawole held that the prosecution failed to link the defendant with the alleged crime of hoarding information on the activities of the Boko Haram sect or by way of sponsoring it. While striking out all the 4-count charges, Justice Kolawole faulted the prosecution in its failure to summon eminent personalities to give evidence in respect of the charges against the defendant. The judge said while the defendant admitted having contact with the Boko Haram sect as a result of his appointment as a member of the Presidential Committee on Security Challenges in the northeastern part of the country, he also admitted volunteering information on the sect operations to the Director of State Security Service in National Assembly and to the former Vice President Namadi Sambo. With all this, the judge said the prosecution did not consider it necessary to invite these people to give evidence in the trial. This, he said, is fatal to the case as it did not help the prosecution to discharge the burden of proof. The court therefore struck out the charges for lacking in merit to warrant the senator to be compelled to enter his defense. In another development, the Nigeria Police Force has arraigned 2 Chinese citizens and 1 Nigerian before Justice Nnamdi Dingba of the Federal High Court in Abuja on 15-count charges bordering on criminal conspiracy, money laundering and forgery. The defendants pleaded not guilty to all the charges. The defense counsel, however, filed for bail application, which was granted by the presiding judge. The bail is granted in the sum of 100 million naira each, with 2 sureties, each in a like sum. The sureties must also have landed property in Abuja metropolis or Lagos. Justice Dingba held that the defendants will have 48 hours to fulfill the bail conditions, which includes depositing their travel documents. Otherwise, they will be remanded in prison. Meanwhile, in the trial of former Chief of Defense Staff Alex Bade, the prosecution team presented its 19 witnesses before the court. The witness, Abubakar Aliu Madaki, who is a staff of the First City Monument Bank, told the court that the defendant and his wife own shares in several investments. The case has been adjourned to the 26th of this month for argument on the admissibility of a document the prosecution is seeking to tender as evidence. Similarly, the All Progressives Congress Kogi State Chapter has filed a suit against the INEC before the Federal High Court in Abuja. The suit is seeking to restrain the electoral body from continuing with the recall process of Senator Dino Melaye. In Abuja, Aliu Tukur, NTA News.
Speaker, Kano State House of Assembly, Kabiru Al-Hassan Rurum, has stepped down following allegations of corruption leveled against him and the House. Samira Hamisu reports that 31 out of the 40 members also signed for the impeachment of the Deputy Majority Leader, Bello Maifata.
The members of Kano State House of Assembly resumed from a 4-week recess this Monday. However, the atmosphere of the House has since been unstable due to leadership tussle, which led to the voluntary resignation of Speaker Kabiru Al-Hassan Rurum. On this ground, the Deputy Speaker Hamisu Ibrahim Chideri presided over the plenary and read out the letter of stepping aside tendered by the former Speaker. To this end, the members unanimously nominated Yusuf Abdullahi Atta of Fagé constituency, who is the majority leader, as the new Speaker and was immediately sworn in.
True allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
In another development, the Deputy Majority Leader, Maifada Bello Kibia, has also been impeached and replaced by Deputy Chief Whip Muhammad Bello Utu from Rimangada Tufa constituency. Kabiru Hassan Dashi is now the new Deputy Chief Whip. Thereafter, the House set up a 6-man committee to investigate the corruption allegations labeled against the former Speaker and the House. The committee is expected to submit its reports in 3 months. From the Kano State House of Assembly, I am Samira Hamisu, NTA News.
From Kano State House of Assembly to the National Assembly, the Senate has suspended all issues relating to confirmation of nominees from the executive until the issues of confirmation as contained in the Constitution and the rules of the National Assembly is resolved. National Assembly correspondent Wazir Zayani reports that the decision follows a point of order raised by Senator Ahmed Sani Yarima from Zamfara West with respect to the presidential request for the confirmation of the nominee for Director General National Lottery Commission.
The request for confirmation, which was in line with Section 8, subsection 18, generated debate, particularly as it affects Senate's power of confirmation. It is in relation to this that Senator Ahmed Sani Yarima raised a point of order, citing comments attributed to the executive questioning powers of the Senate on matters concerning confirmation of appointees.
I recall that at one time a statement was issued that the Senate has no power to confirm outside the provision of the Constitution. So I really don't know whether now the acting president is changing his statement or his action by this letter.
In various contributions, the lawmakers appealed to the executive to respect the rejection of nominees by the Senate.
If the National Assembly says you require confirmation, you require confirmation. And you cannot go and act until you get that confirmation.
Whoever believes that the law of the land is not constitutional should go to court and seek it to be declared null and void.
Clearly, it shows that they don't want this National Assembly to function properly.
It is very clear that these resolutions as passed must be acted upon and ensure that we continue to respect our democracies, our law, and our constitution.
In the meantime, Senator George Thompson Sekibo, Rivers East, has called for fair adjudication of the case against him. While addressing Senate press corps, Senator Sikibo said he will appeal the judgment against him.
The judgment is a fundamental requirement for me to prudently prepare my appeal. So I'm using this medium to appeal to the conscience of the chairman of the panel, and indeed the panel members, that depriving me of my fundamental right is against justice.
It will be recalled that the Election Petition Tribunal sitting over senatorial elections in Rivers State has ordered INEC to withdraw certificates from Mr. Sikibo and give same to Mr. Andrew Ochendu of the APC. From the National Assembly, Wazir Zayan, NTA News.
Still at the National Assembly, the House of Representatives resumes after summer break and resolved to investigate movable assets from contracts awarded by ministries, departments and agencies. This follows a motion moved by Representative Kehinde Agbola from Ekiti State and 7 other members. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nko reports.
Paragraph 2106 and 2128 of the Financial Regulations provide for government ministries, departments and agencies to be accountable for their assets and keep adequate record of them. But members of the House of Representatives argue that most government organizations flout this law as the legislators now resolve to carry out a verification on assets from contracts awarded from 2012 to date.
And in most cases, the costs are deducted from final payment to contractors without any of the assets being traced, thus accounting for losses to the federal government of over 2 trillion naira in the last 5 years.
I believe, Mr. Speaker, that every standing committee should live up to their bidding. They audit every movable assets as related to the ministry upon which they oversight.
The issue of breach of right and privilege of the House came on the floor as Representative Sadiq Ibrahim from Adamawa State condemned the statement credited to the Minister of Works, Power and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, where the minister criticized the reduction of some allocations in the 2017 budget by the National Assembly, as the House resolved to invite the minister to appear before an ad hoc committee.
Budget has been signed by the acting president. It has become an act of parliament. It is a law. Therefore, making a pronouncement with the sanctity or otherwise of this law can only go to the judiciary to make.
By the action of the minister, he has succeeded in breaching our privilege individually, and he has also breached our privilege institutionally and collectively.
We have been urged to invite the minister to perhaps throw more light and give him opportunity to tell not only the National Assembly but Nigerians the veracity of the publications we have read.
The House observed a minute silence in honor of the late Maitama Sule, who died in the early hours of Monday. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nko, NTA News.
Senior Special Assistant to the President on Foreign Affairs and Diaspora, Abike Dabiri Erewa, has described the signing into law of the Diaspora Commission Bill by Acting President Yemi Osinbajo as a welcome development. A statement by her Special Assistant on Media, Abdurrahman Balogun, stated that Honorable Abike Dabiri was elated about the signing into law of the bill, which she sponsored 6 years ago at the 7th House of Representatives. Honorable Dabiri Erewa noted that 26 countries have full ministries for diaspora, and the Commission will provide a database of Nigerians on various fields and potentialities as a resource base for Nigeria and the world to draw upon. As the NTA Gombe gets set to join the digitization switchover, the state governor has implored the Nigerian Television Authority to focus more on community stations. This was when the Director General of the authority, Yakubu bin Muhammad, visited the governor, Ibrahim Hassan Nkwambu. Emmanuel Akila has the report.
While on a courtesy visit to Governor Ibrahim Hassan Nkwambu, the DG appreciated the support the state government has been giving to NTA Gombe that keeps the station working, and also told the governor that NTA Gombe is among the stations selected for digital rollout of broadcasting in Nigeria. Governor Ibrahim Hassan Nkwambu, who warmly welcomed the DG, told him to consider his visit as homecoming, requesting the DG to beam his searchlight on community stations to boost information dissemination to the grassroots. and pledged his support for NTA to succeed.
We want the management of NTA to not dislocations. And if there are areas you think we can collaborate to make it faster, to also come on board, we are ready to collaborate with you to bring dislocations.
So the assurance I'm giving the people of Gombe State through His Excellency the Governor is that the Governor has spoken. It was the Governor who raised the issue of these community stations, and he has promised to collaborate with us, NTA, to make sure that these community stations work.
During the parley with members of staff of the station, the DG said the essence of his tour is to interact with the staff and have first-hand knowledge of issues bothering on staff and the organization, pointing out that commitment to duty and discipline are key to making NTA achieve her goals. Chairman, Radio, Television and Theatre Art Workers Union Ratau NTA Gombe, Danjuma Abdu, set the platform for interaction, where achievements of the DG, challenges and staff issues were highlighted. The DG has departed Gombe and continue with his tour. Emmanuel Akila, NTA News.
Time now to join Jennifer in Lagos for more on NTA Network News. Over to you, Jennifer.
Good evening, welcome to Lagos. Globacom Nigeria, Africa's leading telecommunications services provider, has again demonstrated why it is regarded as the leader in the data segment market. The telecoms giant has launched 2 unique offers which reward subscribers with free access to internet. Ken Egbeluge was at the media conference in Lagos where the products were unveiled.
Free Data Day, the new offer which gives Glo customers free data for a whole day when they meet the voice or data usage threshold within 7 days, which qualify them to enjoy the Free Data Day. Globacom's Zonal Business Coordinator Lagos explained that the offering enables subscribers on the Glo network to do so much more on the internet by browsing free of charge for a whole day. The offer is open to all prepaid subscribers.
Prerequisite for the free data is 150 naira voice plus 100 naira data consumed, or 250 naira data consumed. So that's basically it. The essence is to reward our customers, the faithful customers.
The company also launched Glo Welcome Pack. It gives customers who have not used the Glo network in the last 30 days with free 6,000 naira credit when they recharge their lines. The idea behind the offer, the company explained, is to give each customer a sense of belonging.
Those that come back after 30 days, they get free 6,000. Those that simply stay, including those that come back after 30 days, they get free data when they use the 150 or 150 naira on calls and 100 MB data, or 250 naira on calls. And you do it over 7 days. We are not saying do it at once. Don't think any operator in Nigeria, will even think of doing that in today's economy. But this is Globacom. We are Nigerian. We know how to delight Nigerians.
Globacom says it is more committed than ever to provide subscribers with the best value for money by making its products and services accessible to its existing and new customers. In Lagos, Ken Egbeluge, NTA News.
In line with the philosophy of rewarding brand loyalty, AP Foods, makers of McVitie's digestive biscuit, has launched its first national consumer promotion as part of celebration of its 125th anniversary in biscuit production. Managing Director, West Africa, Kwame Waife, said the promotion is aimed at ensuring consumer satisfaction and better service delivery. Abola De Salami now reports.
Of the leading international manufacturers of biscuits and confectionery for over 12 decades, with an approximately 4 billion consumers of McVitie's digestive biscuits worldwide. Celebrating its customers is one way of showing its appreciation for sustaining its operation through the patronage for over 125 years. Managing Director West Africa Kwame Waife said the promotion will run from 1st July to 30th September 2017 on its 4 special promo packs of 40 grams, 104 grams, and the newly launched 208 grams and 302 grams box packs with the inscription "Buy, Scratch and Win." He added that for consumers to win any of its star and consolation prizes, a short SMS must be sent to this short code 55332.
But if you are talking of the brand with awareness, with presence, with visibility, with quality, sustained quality in the market, you cannot go without McVitie's. McVitie's is the quality brand.
Marketing Director, AP Foods Nigeria Limited, Toyin Inodi, said the company remains poised to the delivery of standard and quality biscuit production.
McVitie's digestive biscuits it's a unique recipe. And we've protected that recipe for the last 125 years. We've ensured the quality and the consistency of that biscuit product.
With an operation in 120 countries and an annual turnover of $5.2 billion, as well as staff strength of over 26,000, the biscuit company promises to provide happiness to customers all over the world. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
You're still on to NTA Network News. More reports ahead after this timeout. Please stay with us.
Is what a normal data day looks like. You on your lane, minding your own business. La 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 la. Suddenly, Glow decides to surprise you. Free 200 megabytes, and wow, your parole don't change. This means you begin to enjoy more uploads and more Snapchatting. More streaming. More gaming. Look at you, buzzing around town, having the time of your life.
Free Data Day is here for all Glow subscribers. Get 200 MB free data for a day and change your parole. Use 100 MB plus 150 naira on voice calls or just 250 naira on voice calls in the preceding week to enjoy. Watch out for an SMS alert for details. The largest data network, Glow, grandmasters of data.
Cadbury Bournvita now comes in an attractive new 500-gram refill pack. Simply open and reseal after use to retain the chocolatey and creamy taste. Cadbury Bournvita. Prepare to win.
I can't believe she just rejected me and my camera.
She rejected my lights. How can she not want makeup?
Maybe when the battery dies, she'll come back to us.
Nah, not with a 4,000 milliampere battery.
Experience the best selfies of your life. Gioni A1 Super Selfie Super Battery.
The Administrative Staff College of Nigeria, ASCON, invites chairmen, commissioners, secretaries, directorate staff of State House of Assemblies, clerks and deputy clerks of State House of Assemblies to its 3-day national workshop on enhancing administrative capacity towards effective performance. Date, 7 to 9th August 2017. Venue, Askan Complex, Topo Badagry. Workshop fee, 70,000 naira per delegate, excluding feeding and accommodation. Payment mode, name of account, Ascon e-collection account. Account number 02-30055-861019. Payable at any commercial bank. For inquiries, please contact Barrister Kolawole Alagbe, Workshop Director, on 0033307408 or 0088354622. Announcer, Director General.
Reorganized, trained, and fully equipped, we are the new improved Nigeria Police Force. We fight crime. We bust syndicates. Whatever the crime, wherever the hideout, the Nigeria Police Force will get you busted. Stop kidnapping, armed robbery, murder, pipeline vandalism, and other criminal activities. Be productive. Be security conscious. Join the police force to secure your life and property. This message is from the Nigeria Police Force Public Relations Department.
Thank you for remaining with NTA Network News. Foreign exchange markets receive a boost as the Central Bank of Nigeria pumps additional $195 million to boost market liquidity. Over now to Vivian Idekbefo for details of these and more on Business News.
Thank you for joining us on the Business News at this time. The Central Bank of Nigeria has sustained its intervention efforts in the forex market with an additional $195 million. Acting Director Corporate Communications of the Apex Bank, Isaac Okorafor, said the intervention is aimed at strengthening the international value of the naira while ensuring accessibility of foreign currencies by customers who require it for genuine purposes. This intervention spread across authorized dealers, SMEs, and invisibles. A survey by CBN reveals that the Naira exchanged at an average of 360 Naira to the dollar at the BDC segment of the market. And still staying with the financial market, the equities market closed Tuesday on a negative note. The all-share index dipped by 1.10% to close at 32,410.20 basis points. Its year-to-date returns currently stands positive at 20.60%. Here is a summary of the day's trading figures on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Meanwhile, Nigerians have continued to commend the federal government for the bold initiative to enlarge the country's tax net. Some Nigerians who spoke with Business News described the voluntary assets and income declaration scheme as a brilliant idea that all patriotic Nigerians and multinationals should take advantage of.
Government will raise money to develop the people, like now the funding of budgets. So tax payment is very, very important for patriotic citizens.
And that's Business News at this time. Thanks for watching.
A national conference on fight against fake drugs gets underway in Jos. Caleb, over to you in Jos.
Thank you, Mohammed. Welcome to Jos. As the prevalence of fake and adulterated drugs continue to threaten Nigeria's healthcare delivery, Governor Simon Lalong of Plateau State has challenged key players in drug administration to rise up to the task of eliminating the menace in the country. He was addressing the 36th National Strategic Conference of Community Pharmacists holding in Jos. A Cameron Kaneng Ladoja reports.
Records have shown that fake drugs account for over 40% of mortality rates in Nigeria, a figure which experts opine is likely to triple by the year 2025 unless proactive and pragmatic measures are sustained to ensure the provision of quality drugs in Nigeria's healthcare institutions. Governor Lalong, who was represented by his deputy Professor Suni Choden, while declaring the conference open, says pharmacists occupy a unique position in the healthcare delivery in Nigeria and so must tackle issues affecting community drug management. Describing the community pharmacists as the most accessible health professionals to the public, especially at the grassroots, President Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria Alhaji Ahmed Yakasai and National Chairman Association of Community Pharmacists of Nigeria Kelong Alkali appealed for collaborative efforts of all in the fight against drug abuse and self-medication.
Pharmacists are the ball from the ears for products to task force, expensive education, care, provision, counseling, and advice. One government takes concrete steps to dismantle this.
Former Deputy Governor of Plateau State, Dimple Intalen, who chaired the occasion, commended the role of pharmacists in the healthcare delivery in Nigeria. High point of the event is the Award of Excellence given to a pharmacist from Imo State, Hyacinth Ikechukwu, for professional excellence. In Jos, Ekemeren Kaneng Ladoja, NTA News.
Minors are said to constitute 40% of victims of violence against women and girls in Plateau State. Therefore, the need for key players to expedite action for the enactment of laws and legislation in this regard. This call was reiterated by speakers at a high-level advocacy meeting organized by the State Ministry of Women Affairs in collaboration with a non-governmental organization. Femi Chit Omoniwa tells us more.
Research has shown that women experience violence both at home, where they are supposed to be safe, and also in crisis situations. Plateau State, having had its fair share of crises in the past, has witnessed an increase in gender-based violence, evidenced by the increase in the number of female IDPs, female abductions, and reports of sexual assaults. This brought about the establishment of Violence Against Women and Girls Observatory Committee, OBSTEC, in 2015 to collate reports, make referrals, and respond to issues of gender-based violence in the state.
She suffered in silence due to fear of being stigmatized and inability to get justice. Thus, this is a need for an urgent intervention by high-level policy and decision makers to take strategic and specific action.
Professor Fumi Paramalam, in a lecture, gave figures of victims of violence from the 16 local governments, with 37 going to domestic violence and 28% to sexual violence, all meted out on girls and women, cutting across ethnic, religious, and class distinctions. The Observatory's steering committee, since inception, has rehabilitated over 200 survivors of gender-based violence. In Jos, Femi Chit Omoniwa, NTA News.
Mohammed, it's back to you.
Thank you, Caleb. When we come back after the break, we have highlights from the international scene and sports news. Stay with us.
What is the place of National Health Insurance Scheme in enhancing the health status of Nigerians? What is the journey so far? This is our focus on NTA Tuesday Live. Tuesday Live, incisive, informative, and educating. Join us.
I can't believe she just rejected me and my camera.
She rejected my lights. How can she not want makeup?
Maybe when the battery dies, she'll come back to us.
Nah, not with a 4,000 milliampere battery.
Experience the best selfies of your life. Gioni A1 Super Selfie Super Battery.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, is working to ensure access to safe, good quality essential medicines with the World Health Organization pre-qualification of made in Nigeria pharmaceutical products, stiffer penalties for fake drug offenders with a review of NAFDAC laws, national, regional, and international collaborations, cutting-edge technologies, including the mobile authentication service.
NAFDAC as an agency is indeed doing so much to protect the health of our nation. I urge everyone to support NAFDAC in ridding the country of fake drugs and unwholesome products.
Let us support NAFDAC to win the war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
Time now for news from the international scene, and Obiageli Igwoke is here with the global TVs.
Good to have you join us. Workers in Ghana are trying to rescue 17 miners trapped in an illegal mining pit since Sunday. The pit in western region of Ghana trapped the miners more than 25 meters underground. The police said 5 victims managed to escape, and rescue efforts are still ongoing with the hope of finding more survivors. And Italy has summoned Austria's ambassador after the government in Vienna announced it's ready to deploy border troops to block migrant influx. Austrian Defense Minister Hans-Peter said 4 armored personnel carriers had been sent to the region and 750 troops are on standby. Austria is accused of alleged violation of European Union Open Border Initiative. North Korea says it has successfully tested its first long-range intercontinental missile. If confirmed, the intercontinental ballistic missile is configured to reach the U.S. mainland. The U.S., on the other hand, said the missile landed in the Sea of Japan on Tuesday, was of immediate range and did not pose a threat to the North America. North Korea has increased the frequency of its missile tests. That wraps up the segment. The news continues.
Kenai Emagodike has the sports update.
17th edition of FIFA Member Association MA course for elite referees and referee assessors went underway in Abuja Monday with over 120 participants in attendance. Organizers of the course, the Nigerian Football Federation, captures the essence of the program in view of the need to further expose the nation's football referees to the requirements of the new highly scientific approach to modern refereeing. A two-day top 6 invitational volleyball competition aimed at promoting the sport at the grassroots level has ended in Karu, Abuja, with Defense Pikers emerging champions. The defense team beat Karu United in 2 straight sets, 25-19 and 25-22 points in the event.
Most of the players that came to play this championship never expected it to be like this, because we've not had a championship like this for a while. This is like an open championship.
Nigeria's Aruna Kadri has continued to celebrate his efforts in picking tickets to represent Africa at this year's ITTF World Cup in France. Kadri secured the ticket after beating his continental rival Egypt's Omar Assar 4-3 in the final of the 2017 ITTF African Table Tennis Championship held in Morocco on Monday. In tennis, the 2017 Wimbledon Open enters day 2 with one of